Hi. I'm wearing my Pikachu Kigu today for a very specific reason. And it is because I keep seeing this image floating around on social media, and it's like an AI synthography thing, and it's like a Pokemon Studio Ghibli mashup. But here's the thing that drives me nuts about it, is I don't think it really looks like Studio Ghibli at all. And that's one reason why I think synthography can suck. So I think today I'm going to actually do a Pokemon Studio Ghibli mashup, but like correctly, or at least try to do it correctly. It's just gonna be a little speed draw situation here. I got a new iPad. It's nice and big, and I needed it because I do a lot of my professional work on my iPad now, and so I needed something that would give me a lot more space on Procreate. So I have a nice big, nice iPad, but we're gonna be doing it in this one today. I was looking at these images, and I think one of the things that people really like is it kind of looks like screenshots. So I picked a Pokemon screenshot, this one, and I figured I would like Studio Ghibli-ify it. So that's kind of what I did. So let's get into it. Here's my nice new big iPad. Unfortunately, I don't have the same screen protector on it. I was sent a paper-like screen protector. This isn't sponsored, but they did send me the product for free. And I've been using it for a few months now, and I really like it. And I realized how much I like it once I got this new one and realized I didn't have the same screen. So I miss it. And I can't use the screen protector that I have, the extra one, because my iPad is too big for it now. So you can kind of see the difference here. And the screen protector on my old iPad made it feel more like you were drawing on paper, like it had more of a resistance. So unfortunately, I think I'll have to get a bigger one. But yeah, I really like this. So if you want a new screen protector for drawing, get this. So we just start off with a sketch like usual, and I really try to block out my shapes and proportions, especially since this is a style that I'm not accustomed to working in. So I had a lot of references that I was pulling up and a lot of different characters in different poses, so I could really reference how their face looked and their bodies looked in certain angles. I was referencing some of Hayao Miyazaki's older works, specifically Castle in the Sky for this one. While it's not my absolute favorite, it does give me kind of like these nostalgia vibes. And I felt like the characters were kind of in a similar age to Ash and Misty, kind of. I don't know. I mean, I know that technically Ash is like 10, so then Chihiro would probably be closer, but whatever. I just felt like the Castle in the Sky gave me more of like a Pokemon crossover. I don't know. My main references were Castle in the Sky, Spirited Away, and My Neighbor Totoro. I also used Howl's Moving Castle for a color palette, which you'll see later on. But the one thing I did notice very specifically is that any of the cute creatures that were like companions in a lot of Studio Ghibli movies kind of had these big round eyes and these little noses and everything. So I referenced Totoro a lot for Pikachu, as well as the little mouse guy from Spirited Away, because I like me an original fat chonky Pikachu. So obviously one of the big telltale things about Studio Ghibli that I felt like the synthography or AI art thing got right was the very detailed and beautiful and elaborate backgrounds. I mean, Studio Ghibli is like a master at these backgrounds. Like, they're stunning. Unfortunately, I didn't have the copious amount of hours needed to create such a beautiful backdrop, so I tried my best to emulate it as much as I can without it being completely exact, just because I didn't really have the time, unfortunately. Line art is a little trickier. I normally work with very thick line art, but Studio Ghibli uses very thin line art with barely any tapers, so I tried to implement that. For color palette, I really wanted to go with something kind of bright and vibrant since Pokemon itself is kind of vibrant, so I pulled a lot of colors from Howl's Moving Castle. I just literally pasted it into my image and just eyedropped colors. And then also for shading, it was very minimal and very round. Like the shading shapes themselves were kind of round and soft. There wasn't really any super hard edges, so I tried to keep that in mind when I was adding the shading in. This next thing I did is a really tiny simple trick where I basically alpha locked the shadow layer because I put the shadow layer on a different layer, and then I went over it with a multiply brush and just did the very, very edge of the shadow, and that kind of gives it this, I don't know, drawn in shadow quality. I see it a lot in anime. I think it's because they draw in where they want the shading to be and then they fill. So I'm emulating just a very, very, very faint line, and I feel like it gives it a little more something. Once I add that small detail on all of the shadows throughout the image, I go in and add a canvas texture on the background to make it look like it's more painterly, plus some texture and shading on the edges. And with that, we're done. So let's see the reveal. Essentially, that's a wrap. What do you think? Do you think I achieved it? Does this look like a proper Studio Ghibli Pokemon mashup? Does this look like a screenshot from it maybe? Let me know what you think down below. Also, before I end this video, I have a few little things to inform you about in case you are curious, some merch type things. So let's jump over to that super quick. If you don't follow me on Instagram or TikTok or Facebook, I suggest you do, because that's where I put a lot of updates on merch and other things that I'm doing. I did one pre-order for these books in December and I got so many. So I want to thank you so much for those of you who did pre-order these books. They've all been shipped out by now, and I am doing one more pre-order because a bunch of you are still asking. So now is your last chance to jump on this pre-order before it ends. I don't think I'll be doing any more prints of this unless, you know, something changes, but for now this is going to be the final one. So pre-orders end on Valentine's Day, February 14th. So make sure, if you haven't gotten this book yet, to jump on it. They're only $30 and they're full of really fun information. I made up registered names and kennel names and call names for all of them, as well as fake breed standards and also their myth that they're based off of, as well as a glossary in the back that gives you kind of a breakdown on what some of the symbols mean and everything. So it's a fun little book to have. So if you haven't jumped on it yet, jump on it now. Also, I opened a sticker club for this year, so I will be sending out vinyl stickers and sticker sheets and other stationery things like washi tape and prints every month. So if you're interested in that, please feel free to subscribe to it on my Ko-fi. The links are going to be in the description box below, and the theme will change every month. And if you're part of the group, you can like kind of vote on what theme you want next, and you'll also be able to see behind the scenes stuff that people who just follow me on social media don't see yet. So yeah, it's fun. Just come join me on those. And that's about it. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you over on my social media accounts. Goodbye.